Time to own the Audi you've always wanted. Because until February 28th, you can enjoy the Audi A4 with a complimentary style pack, saving you over €4,500. So, all you have to do is choose the colour. Call into your local Audi dealer during the 191 sales event. Terms and conditions apply while stocks last.
It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Political radio, giving you what you need to know. Listen up, it's the Wayne Bradley Show. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Political radio, giving you what you need to know. Listen up, it's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. Listen up, it's the Wayne Bradley Show.
Welcome to the Wayne Bradley Show live on Blog Talk Radio. I am just getting into the studio here. The call-in number is 845-241-9835. I am just getting started. I haven't been on the podcasting in a while, so be patient with me as we get into this. This is the Wayne Bradley Show on Blog Talk Radio, sponsored by New Horizon Homes. Give us a call at 845-241-9835. I'm about to go on Facebook Live, bring in some folks as well, so be patient with me as we get things started. I'm going to bring you a quick commercial as we get things set up.
Are you looking to place your house on the market? Or maybe you're ready to be a first-time home buyer? Well, look no further. New Horizon Homes has just the services you're looking for.
I saw my dream home on their website at mynewhorizonhomes.com. I called and left a message, and they called me back immediately.
New Horizon Homes is fabulous. They helped me sell my home and find a new one.
We listen to our customers. We return calls quickly. We move fast to buy or sell your home. Your satisfaction is our priority. At New Horizon Homes. For more information, log on to mynewhorizonhomes.com. Right now, New Horizon Homes. Remember the name, New Horizon Homes, because your new home is just over the horizon.
Make sure you give New Horizon Homes a call at 248-796-7228. Welcome back to the Wayne Bradley Show. So as you can see here, I'm getting everything set up here. Hopefully in about 2 minutes here, we'll really get this show started. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got day 32 of the shutdown. We've got Kamala Harris, who is now officially a candidate for president. And we're going to talk a little bit about this Covington school situation, because I think that is something we definitely need to do. So we're going to get live here. I'm inviting all my folks on Facebook. Let's see if I can get everybody here. We are going live. I'm about to put it on Facebook. I know it's going to get a little more exciting there. Here we go. Start the live video. Let's see how we get down here. So I need that. All right. Welcome to the Wayne Bradley Show. There we go. There we have that. What's up, Jim? Trying to get this thing set up here the right way. What's going on, Jim? Trying to get this thing set up. I want everybody to get a chance to go on. What's up, Rob? All right. So I'm encouraging everybody to check out go to the website, Go to the link. You can listen to the show. You can call in, obviously. So we're here on the Wayne Bradley Show. Give us a call, 845-241-9835. You smiling makes you racist. Yeah, I'm smiling. Antonio, I'd love to have you on the show. To argue with me, hey, I welcome that. Something else I talked about today that might get folks a little. Let's talk a little bit. Antonio, you probably would be good for that. My boy Eric Thomas, he loves talking about this whole subject of toxic masculinity. We can talk about all that. Oh yeah, Ray. I'd love to have you on here too. We have some fun. We could definitely chop it up. So I'm trying to get all this stuff set up. This is the first time I've done a podcast in a while, so hopefully you can join in with me. We got a couple different topics we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the shutdown. We're in day 32 of that. Kamala Harris is in. We're going to talk about this Covington High School thing. Now, which I really didn't think I was going to have to really get into too heavy because I had kind of stayed away from it. Yeah, Antonio, y'all would be awesome to join in on that topic right there because I think that people are using that term a little bit too much for my discomfort, this whole idea of toxic masculinity. I don't know what that is. I really don't. I don't think we have enough masculinity in America, to be quite honest. In my community, I think it can be proven that we just don't have enough masculinity. So I don't know what toxic masculinity is. But, hey, give us a call. We're live, 845-241-9835. I'd love to talk to you. Love to hear what you have to say. Let's start with that. I guess since we've got so many things to talk about, because you're not a female, so you wouldn't understand. Oh, that sounds sexist, Rachel. That sounds sexist. So what? Because I'm not a female, understand something? That's sexist. What are you talking about? Let's talk about it. It's not enough masculinity in my community. Too many, we just don't have enough. So I don't know what toxic masculinity is. Right. I wouldn't. You're right. I wouldn't know. I'm just a nice guy. I have no idea what toxic masculinity is. Now, masculinity itself is a good thing. I think that again, we need to stand up as men nowadays. We need to fight for being masculine. It shouldn't be against the rules. That's good healthiness. Man should be masculine. I don't understand it. They call it like today we were, people started throwing Chris Brown into this whole thing of toxic masculinity. And sure enough, Chris Brown was found not guilty, and they let him go today. I mean, so what is this whole toxic masculinity? They've just, these phrases. I think toxic feminism is a problem in America. How about that? If you want to talk about it, yeah, toxic feminism is destroying this country. I agree. When it's taken to the extreme, that's when it becomes toxic. So I'm with that. Anything that is too toxic is anything extreme, and that includes feminism. That's right. We back, baby. I got to get back on the air. It's been a while, kind of, and I'm getting comfortable again, getting comfortable with my voice, getting everything back out here. But I was somewhere the other day, and someone said, you need to get back on the radio. And I just, been a lot of going through these, watching how politics is evolving here, and I just kind of been focused on some of my business. And so I want to give a shout out to New Horizon Homes, one of our sponsors here this evening. If you're interested in a home, make sure you go to mynewhorizonhomes.com. It's got some great places where you can search for your homes and also find out what the value is of your own. So let me know. Yes, and women wouldn't understand. That's right, Rob. Toxic feminism is a problem in America right now. Yep. I'm glad someone agrees at least with that. There is toxic feminism in America. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. It's to the point now. Toxic feminism to me is to the point now where everything's got to be gender neutral, where you get to pick. You have a baby and you don't even want to put the gender of it on there and let them pick later on. Makes no sense. I don't understand that one. Either you were born a boy or a girl. Why confusing? It was so confusing about that. What's so hard about that? Why can't the feminist, the extreme the toxic feminists understand that's you're overdoing it. You overplayed your hand. I just don't know. I don't get it. Yeah, we do need to get some balance here. Dr. Harris, what's happening, brother? How you doing? Happy New Year. Thank you for the other day, man. I was out here working. I couldn't get to that game, but I appreciate the love, bro. Taylor, am I lying? Taylor, you're laughing. Am I lying? Is it not toxic feminism helping destroy this country? You know, it's to the point that literally, you know, you can have a kid and you're just going to let your kid decide who they want to be. At what age? Are we going to wait to 18? Are we going to wait to 18 when that happens? I don't know. I just don't like the term toxic masculinity. What is that? So we're going to figure that out. I don't know. I just never heard of such a ridiculous thing until just recently. The last couple of days, people have made this whole thing about masculinity. And, you know, people are confusing bad behavior, bad behavior by some men. Some men, not all men. This guy today said that it's hundreds of millions of men that are practicing toxic masculinity. And I'm like, so what is that? And they're like, where you're rude to women and abusing women. I mean, this is not, every man's not like that. I just don't get it. That's just not fair. So I just don't get that. It's not fair. So, yep. All right. So we've already got folks calling in. Make sure you give us a call. 845-241-9835. I'm going to take this first call here in the Detroit area. Now, I'm going to figure out if I can somehow get this looped in so you guys can hear on Facebook. But if not, you should listen to that stream right there. So, thank you for calling to the Wayne Bradley Show.
This is Antonio.
Antonio, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Thank you. I'm doing good, man. Thank you for calling in this evening. I appreciate it. I assume you saw the first topic I jumped into, this whole toxic masculinity thing. Do you want to expound on that, or where am I missing something here?
So, I mean, I think you the idea that you yourself could acknowledge a toxic feminism, but you don't want to acknowledge the existence of a toxic masculinity, kind of shows your bias in this situation and this question inherently.
Because I don't see the toxic masculinity problem, but I do see a toxic feminism problem. Well, I really, at the end of the day, I don't really pay too much attention to this, but I guess the thing is, the reason why it was even brought to my attention, Ray, the link is right there, the Facebook Live at the top. I hope you can see that. The reason I even brought this topic up was because, in my opinion, the feminists have started making masculinity a problem. Wouldn't you? Am I missing that? I mean, they're the ones calling it out. I've never heard any men saying, "Oh my God, that's not a big." We're not challenging that way. So I think there's been more. It was on the feminist movement that have made this new phrase, and I'm just trying to get some clarification on it.
I think if you were to ask some feminists, I think there exists a toxic femininity. I would definitely say that's true. Just like in some, anti-racist work, there are people like those, Hebrew Israelite folks who are taking it to a too far extreme. There certainly exists, like when you are in a group that has less power in society, when you respond, some people respond disproportionately, and they take it to an extreme. But
I thought it was interesting that you mentioned those the black Israelites, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And their interesting situation this
let's
past
focus
weekend.
on that. Let's put that on hold for a second though. Like let's dig into this issue.
Let's finish up. Yeah, let's do that.
Not
let's finish
ADD this. Let's keep some focus here.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I think I have a broader philosophical sort of understanding of this concept and this notion, and it has to deal with our society writ large. European, English settler society, and a settler is a word that refers to all of us who live in the United States. The United States is a settler colony on indigenous lands. So a lot of indigenous societies, the societies that were crushed under colonialism, had a much higher place for women in their society. There was councils of women. The indigenous people of the land that we're standing on, which is the land of the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe, some of those societies were matrilineal. And then the women were the ones who chose the chiefs. It's the men who moved into the women's family. And those societies did not have rape. They did not have a lot of the symptoms that you see of toxicity within our society and our culture. I would also include symptoms of toxicity, being the fact that like women and children are like some of the most impoverished, fastest growing impoverished groups. The fact of the matter is like the gender pay gap is an entire huge long argument that I don't want to necessarily open up that ball because I don't think it's the best representative case. But like if you look at a more progressive version of this European society, you got to look at the Scandinavian countries. I mean, there's like paid leave for women who get pregnant. There's support for, babysitting and things like that. In the United States, we leave people to suffer on their own for that. Single women to suffer on their own for that. So there's a lot of evidence for toxic masculinity, but you can't disconnect that from culture, from the dominant culture in our society, which is like English European settler society. And that society has a strong, powerful masculine, a weak feminine. It's written into the legal system that women automatically are property of men. I mean, that's what the whole marriage thing is about within European culture, within like British common law culture, is that women are property. So it's deeply. Do you
still think right now that in America women are looked as property of men?
I mean, I think if you look at the way we discuss issues around sex and sexuality, for instance. I do think I think a lot of people do have a possessiveness and ownership of their partners, and I think men are certainly like more like susceptible to I think so. Men and women cheat on an equal basis, but like who's
okay? Now isn't that empowering? Isn't that what we want?
No. So I'm not saying it's empowering. So I'm saying like who's killing more based on that? How many femicides are happening? How many women are killing their men for cheating versus how many men are killing their men for cheating? The statistics are out. I think if you look at any.
But how many men don't report the domestic violence when it's perpetrated upon them by women? That's a real discussion we could have. Because men don't ever call the police on their girlfriends when they're beating them up. That never happens.
That's not true. But
very rarely.
There's a real difference in between the physical capabilities of men and women. It's a real difference. And also like that the fact that men are too ashamed to call the cops is a reflection of toxic culture. Another reflection of toxic culture is we teach ourselves not to deal with our emotions. There's a whole generation of people who have been taught that men don't cry. Men got to keep their chin up. Men don't have emotions, and that's what we do to ourselves. That's not what feminists are doing to us. But I would say there are some women who uphold that patriarchal belief system. There are some women who would belittle men for crying and for having emotions or for having feelings.
They sure would.
And that's not toxic femininity. That's like how like there's folks like
I mean
who like
I think that's the most.
Ideas. So, like,
to me, if you can cry in front of your lady, man, that's the ultimate sign of trust. Because a lot of women will look at you differently if you cry in front of them.
That is the ultimate sign of trust. I totally agree with that. But I think also men cry less, but men deal with their pain in other ways. They'll abuse their woman. They'll like cheat. They'll go and do other stuff to find their self-esteem, as opposed to dealing with their emotions. And that's a big problem in our current moment now. like, I think toxic masculinity is also representative of the economic changes that have happened in our society. So, like, back in your day, in your father's day, men could get a good job, an industrial job. Back when the United States had like 70% of world GDP after World War II, when Europe was totally bombed out all of its industrial bases, the United States was the industrial producer of the world. So there was good paying industrial jobs. You could raise a family off of a working class job. Those jobs are gone. The jobs we have now are service sector jobs, and you cannot raise a family on a service sector job right now. So there's a whole generation of men who, unlike their fathers, can no longer
we've had to work totally different. Yeah, we
have to work
pension
harder.
plans.
We get paid less. But whose agenda is that? Whose agenda has it been to roll back the progressive changes that happened to the labor since the 1930s and 40s? That's actually your party.
Let's just be fair about the whole. Let's be fair about the labor issue. The fact is that
Ronald
the price
Reagan crushed the union.
No, he didn't. No, I don't believe
he did.
that. Ronald Reagan did not crush the union.
When he took on the air traffic controllers union, there was not a big significant strike ever since then. If you look at labor union participation since the 1960s, it's precipitously been declining. The Reagan Revolution.
Well, doesn't that have a lot? How come none of that falls on the value that unions are bringing to the table, as opposed because industry creates jobs, unions don't. Am I correct about that?
What it comes down to is
unions can only function in places where industry goes. Unfortunately now in places like Michigan, where unions in Michigan are trying to create industries like the fast food industry and home health care workers, but reality is it's only industries, big industries that have large amounts of jobs is where unions tend to go after. And to me, that's where I think there's a correlation between the fact that, some people think that the unions actually create the jobs. They protect the jobs that businesses and corporations create.
Unions protect workers. But I'll say this, Wayne, we're getting into a
We're going to have to do another talk, a more organized podcast about this whole toxic masculinity thing, because I get where people are coming from with some of the things, but I also say that there needs to be some balance even in that approach, because what you do is you take normal guys, like I consider myself just a normal guy, and you make me want to push back against that because they're painting all men with this, and that's my issue. I think that's where we have to be careful. The slippery slope of saying, well, all men need to feel this way or all men need to understand. I can't understand that because that's just not how I don't think of myself as someone of oozing of masculinity like that, where that, I think that there needs to be a discussion on what we consider bad behavior. I mean, we know what some of it is. Abusing women is no excuse. Putting your hands on a woman, I get that. I mean, but you can't put that on every man because every man doesn't operate that way. A lot of men wouldn't even, they wouldn't be looking for that because they don't do that themselves. And I think that that's, starting with that and understanding that every man, when they hear a story, they might want to hear more. Men are more into it. Like, let me hear the whole story instead of going with the emotional jump off. Let me hear what's going on. Let me hear the whole thing. And I think in today's society, it frustrates people when people don't just jump on board from the moment they say this and no one follows up with that. So I think that there's equal amount of challenges in that.
I mean, I would tend to agree with a lot of what you said. I think there's some of that's real reasonable. But there's this question of, do all men participate in patriarchal structures? That's my question. Do you think all men do? I mean, do we laugh at some jokes that are kind of inappropriate? Do we cover for our homies when we're young? Do we cover for our homies when we're young? When we're young, do we cover for our homies who are doing shady things?
It's possible. I don't think that I'm covering for my, even at a young age, I don't think I would be covering for my friends doing stuff that would have been considered illegal. Or if I saw one of my friends lay a hand on another female, I wouldn't just sit there and act like I don't see what's going on.
It's not just about laying the hand, though. It's not just about laying the hand. It's about, we all have a couple of friends who are probably not very good to their partners. Like men can be just emotionally. We can all be emotionally abusive. Everybody can be emotionally.
Oh well,
abusive.
then okay. But if we're talking about mentally and emotionally abusive, you could definitely throw women right into that, brother. I mean, come on now,
Yeah, absolutely.
If we start dipping into that, to that level of, okay, what's abuse and now you start talking about just talking bad and yelling and screaming at people and telling them they ain't no good, useless. I can think of a lot of women that would do that too, brother. So I think that, again, until we have that deeper discussion, as opposed to because I just hate that term now, toxic masculinity. What is that? I think there's not enough fathers in their homes right now.
You shouldn't have emotion. It's the idea that you shouldn't have emotion. It's the idea that we should just.
You shouldn't be emotional. I don't think in particular black men. That's the way I was taught. I gotta give it to you. My dad taught me this. Black men cannot walk around in America being all emotional. Whether it's in the workplace, anywhere else, you could be penalized. They can look at you as either being an angry black man. They can look at you as being a weak black man. So, I don't know. I would tell my son that. You can cry if something hurts or something, but other than that, in terms of showing too much emotion, whether it be in a good way, in a bad way, can affect employment opportunities and opportunities you get to do, larger scale work. So, I don't know how to tell my son to be, I don't know if that's toxic masculinity or if that's survival techniques, in particular for men in America right now. I think there's a time to be emotional. I think there's a person or people that you ought to be able to share that with, your loved ones, your mother, whoever that might be. But the idea that men need to be more emotional in public, I don't know. I don't sign off on that one.
I never said men need to be emotional in public. I'm saying men need to express their emotions. Men need to express the things that they feel, and when they don't, you bottle it up.
No, I agree with that. Like you said, but guys take other outlets to express themselves, and sometimes it doesn't come off the right way. So I could do a relationship show too, man, and just talk about all that stuff. That would be interesting.
that's an example of toxic masculinity, though. Like this idea that we shouldn't express emotions.
Yeah, well, I think that long as it's done in a constructive way and it's not. You have control of your emotions. I don't have a problem with showing some emotion. I think that's where I'm going to leave that. But listen, man, I got another call calling in from the 517. I appreciate you calling in. We're going to set up another time so we can talk. Because I've seen you do some interesting things, hunting. I want to know about the hunting out there, man.
Yeah, I've been going in, man. We just did the beavers the other day, so.
Yeah, I would love. I'm gonna definitely have you come back on, and if I get into a situation where I can do a live podcast and bring you down, you're always welcome to do so. So thank you so much for calling in, brother.
Yeah, at least I got you to admit a little something. Peace.
Hey, I'm fair. I told you, man. I'm always fair. I'm always gonna be fair. All right, thanks a lot for calling in. All right, so I got a call from the 517 I'm about to take, but the call-in number is 845-241-9835. 845-241-9835. Toxic men. I can't. Linda, I put the link in there, so if you want to listen to the link, I'm trying to figure out a way where I can do this where people can hear it directly from the speakers on my phone here, but the link allows you to call in. So I'm about to take this call here from the 517. Thank you for calling in to the Wayne Bradley Show.
Hey, man, your call screener sounds really attractive, man.
You said what now?
Your call screener, she sounds really hot.
Oh, thank you. Well, I do what I can to make that happen, man. So I hope that people are listening in. We got, I know who this is right here. This is my buddy calling in. He's always called in and supported all my shows. So, Chris, thank you for calling in tonight, brother. I appreciate that. I'm doing good. We're on day 32, man. We're on day 32 of the shutdown. What do you think we need to do to get this done, to get the government back open? Tell me, Chris. You're a politico. What do you think we need to do?
Well, we'd save a lot of money by firing the TSA.
You want to fire the TSA?
Sure. I believe that each municipal airport should hire their own security based on what they consider their needs to be.
I don't know, man. That's pretty scary for some of these places that don't have any resources or might not think ahead of the curve. What are you thinking? Like, so you think that the people in, let's say, North Dakota are skilled at doing these things to say someone out in, in California and, no kind of guidelines that match up?
I think the Transportation Security Administration, I think that's
you want to privatize
it,
it, huh? You want to shut it down.
No. Privatize it implies that the government is paying a large private corporation to do the whole same thing for less money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, sure, perhaps since we are still forced to have a Department of Homeland Security, the government may be subsidizing and putting forward grants to various municipalities and metropolitan areas that don't have the funds to hire their own security, sure. But I believe that we should be able to trust the people that run these airports to have a better idea of just how invasive they think their security ought to be.
It's sounds like the libertarian-leaning way of putting that. I like that. Almost.
Part of it is I just don't think the TSA does as much as they appear to.
Interesting.
They don't keep me safe, but they make everyone else feel safe by patting me down without buying me a drink first.
Do you see any the shutdown ending anytime soon? Do you see it on the horizon?
I believe that within 3 weeks, one side or the other will break, but they'll manage to make it look like they came to a more middle ground conclusion where both sides can say they kicked the shit out of the other one.
Well,
so in 3 weeks,
that's the beauty of being on online radio, is that I do not have to bleep out anybody. I've even thought about, Chris, maybe doing a WB at night series a little bit later, maybe about 11 or 12. Encourage people to, get a little more raunchy with it. So I don't mind that. Thank you. That makes sense. We're gonna go to the next topic. We got Kamala Harris running for president. And I'm going to tell this other person here hold on real quick. I want them. Now, you got to remember, I'm working the board myself here. They hung up, so we'll get them back. But call in at 845-241-9835 on the Wayne Bradley Show. We're live. We're going to go to Kamala Harris, Chris. What do you think? Is she a formidable opponent for our president, Donald Trump?
Under normal circumstances, yes. The problem she'll face, though, is just as we had 17 candidates, and at least 5 of them we thought were formidable. I mean, the first candidate to get knocked out of the 17 was Scott Walker, who most of us thought was the most formidable candidate.
Right.
So she looks to be the most formidable, especially against guys like almost Spartacus Cory Booker and the fake Indian Elizabeth Warren. But
did you call her the fake Indian? Pocahontas? Is that what you call her,
Pocahontas.
Chris?
Pocahontas is the real Indian.
Well, I think that Kamala Harris will prove to be somewhat formidable, but based on the way the Democrats are already taking swipes at her amongst her own party, she's going to have a couple issues. Apparently, obviously, being a prosecutor, you can have some things on your record that can look bad in a couple of years, and obviously she was pretty tough on some sentencing, and they were talking about how she was always supportive of the worker programs in prisons, which pretty much they compare to slavery nowadays, because the guys are working for free out in the hot California weather. So it will be interesting. I think that, and now we even got birther 2.0 scenarios going on out here. So I mean, it's just so much going on with that. We're gonna see, and this is the last one. This is the last one, Chris, and I got to talk to you about this because I feel like you're more qualified than I am.
Sure.
Because you are a white male in America now, and this is a big issue. Last time I checked, you were too, and so I'm interested to get your opinion on this, and I want you to talk to me about this, okay? My next call, you're on hold. We're going to bring you on soon. But, Chris, I got to talk to you about this. It seemed to me when I first saw the video, and this is just my opinion, I saw some punks, some kids smiling in the face, taunting of a protest. I mean, I've been to a lot of protests. Right. I've seen people do things like this before. But what I saw was a kid smirking, And I didn't really pay too much attention to it. I saw that. I was like, okay, nobody. There was no fist thrown. There was no fighting, no violence. No tiki torches, no nothing. So I thought it was pretty much a solid, just a protest. But they made the critical error, and I think this is where it goes. They had on the Make America Great Again hats. They had the Make America Great Again hats on, and if it's more than 2 or 3 white men with Make America Great Again hats on in the group, you guys might be considered a mob. Alyssa Milano compared it to the new KKK. She said that's the new hood. So my thing is, I didn't see any violence. I didn't see no racial epithets were screamed loud enough that was the issue. And I'm not defending. I want to make it clear. I'm not defending these young guys in Kentucky, of all places. I'm not trying to make it seem like that. I don't think they were just some innocent. They came there to taunt the protesters. That's what they did. Chris, do you think it was overblown, though, by the media? Because they made it seem like it was some kind of race war that happened down there. And I just didn't see anything like that. So I didn't speak upon it for a couple of days. And then, lo and behold, by Monday or Tuesday, even the media has pulled back from the story.
Well, I think regardless of whether the kids were doing right or wrong, and personally, I think wearing a Republican hat to a nonpartisan pro-life event actually makes it a little less welcoming to Democrats, because I think we should welcome committed Democrats to the pro-life movement if they're willing. And the hats say, this is Republicans only.
I think that, there are causes that we can all work together on. The question, like I said, I just think, do you think it was an overreaction because of the Trump hats?
Significantly. I believe, probably because of the Trump hats, they're using these kids as proxies for the Republican president they want to knock off his perch. Fact of the matter is, regardless of whether the kids were doing wrong or just caught from a bad angle, the fact of the matter is the amount of negative attention being tossed onto these kids, they're just kids, is wildly disproportionate.
Hold on real quick, Chris. So let me take a small break. I'm going to just go to a quick break, and I'll be right back, okay?
Sure.
Hi, this is Wayne Bradley, and I want to let all my listeners know whether you're looking for a new home, trying to sell your home, looking for an investment property, or simply want to get an idea of what the market is in your neighborhood, give New Horizons Home a call. With their experienced and diligent team, New Horizon Homes will work for you. Visit the website, www.mynewhorizonhomes.com, or give them a call at 248-796-7228. Your new home is just over the horizon. Welcome back to the Wayne Bradley Show. Chris, I had to get a quick break out there. My daughter was making a lot of noise in the background. I wanted to clear that out. So thank you for being patient with me. But let's get back to this, because I do have another caller that's been waiting. Do you think that it was just purely an overreaction because of the Trump hats?
I think the Trump hats were a large part of it, yes.
I figured it is. Well, I tell you what, we're going to continue to watch this and see if the media continues to jump over itself. And even Joy Behar today said it's because of their hate for Trump that they continue to go at it. Hey, Charmaine, how you doing? And I think that's damaging and making them more, losing more credibility by the moment. So, hey, Chris, thank you for calling in. We're going to talk some more. I'll see you soon. And make sure you call in again. Thank you, my friend. All right. We're going to go to our next caller here. We got a caller from the 313. Welcome to the Wayne Bradley Show.
Hello, it's Rachel.
Rachel, what's up? Thank you for calling in. How you doing?
Not a problem. You're lucky I'm not at work, so yeah, got time to give my commentary.
We know how you
today.
do at work. We don't want you causing no problems at work. You are notorious for being at work causing them problems out here, so I don't want you causing no problems at work.
No, not at all. Nope, I'm chilling.
So as you were listening here, because I saw you comment a little bit on this earlier, and I got to get your opinion on this. You're a woman, and we were talking about this whole toxic masculinity thing, which I just think is a bad word. Maybe they need to figure out, just call it bad behavior by some men, and maybe I would agree with them. I'd go along with that, but tell me what you think toxic masculinity is.
I think is basically exactly what it sounds like. Masculinity to the extreme, becoming toxic. Like, the problem with society is that we tend to just use blanket statements and overgeneralize with everything.
That's what I have an issue with. That's what I have an issue with, is that because I don't,
because
every guy's not like that. Every guy's not like that. I think that's the thing, you know. And I heard a guy today say, we got hundreds of millions of men behaving this way. I said, do we now? Like, I think that's a bit much. Hundreds of millions, you know. So you as a woman, tell me. All right, so give me a couple examples of toxic masculinity and things that men could do better to get past this, because I'm curious. I want to know.
Yeah, no. So my definition of it and how I would see now, first of all, it's really been discussed more so lately. I think that it was triggered by the whole R. Kelly and all of that type of stuff going on.
Like, that's one guy.
Usually, I know, but you know how one thing could just spark a whole freaking nationwide conversation. I don't know. But I think that, like with me and most people that I know that have experience with actual toxic masculinity and not just people being mad because dudes, like, don't care about their feelings, but it's more so really utilizing that power structure and that patriarchal society that we're coming from and using it as groupthink and as ways to further kind of demoralize and kind of keep women down to think that they have a quote-unquote place. Like, usually, okay, we're going to use the whole R. Kelly situation, for example.
Right.
You know, it's sparked by,
can we at least admit
you
that
know,
that's a very extreme scenario, though? Because
it is.
R. Kelly's a multi-millionaire, famous singer. Like, I just think that using him as a comparison to the average guy out here, that's going to be pretty hard to do. But let's go ahead. Let's go with the R. Kelly, because he's an extreme
I
situation.
wasn't speaking about him specifically, just the conversation that men had following that. So, you know, and then the whole rape culture thing, or you know what I'm saying? Is that you see all these men coming out, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it all on your social media as well. All these men coming out almost basically like kind of going to bat for, you know, she shouldn't be doing this, or those kids wanted it, or just using ways to take our you know, our vulnerability in our femininity to use it against us. Like,
at this point, do you think it's part now at this point in the culture, because there's so much stuff that we see on social media? Like this weekend, I don't know if you saw it or not, but there's been a lot of postings about that young lady that got raped in the club in Atlanta.
Exactly.
And she had it all on Facebook Live. And I was talking to some females, and I was kind of, because I thought, like, dang, that's crazy. She got it all on tape, and I actually saw some of it or whatnot. But there were some people like, well, how did she really get raped? Because it was on tape and all these different things. And I think is that the culture you're talking about? Is that what it is? When groups of men come together and basically, as a whole and in collectives, defend extreme masculinity or extreme versions of things that just aren't realistic. Like when it comes to rape culture or anything like that, talking about how women should dress, what we should and should be doing to not get raped, that would be something considered. And men having these big, large conversations in groups, backing each other up. Yeah, bruh, we know they just thoughts. They just this. They just that. Like women can't express ourselves or move in the same way. And don't get me wrong, just like you were talking about bad behavior, we also, I think a lot of it is derived from people trying to, talk about personal accountability, which is, always something that has to be said and discussed when it comes to those situations. When I hear men say that, to be honest, sometimes when I hear men say, well, she was doing this, behaving this way, that's where I start. And because as guys, that's a natural thing, is this accountability thing. And so, is it possible? Now, again, because I don't want to. I think I'm gonna have a whole show on this one day because it's such a deep and ranging topic from different people. Do you think that because men, we always think first of like, all right, what's the consequences of this, or what could happen wrong? That what could I have done to avoid this? That's how men think naturally. Do you think that's part of the reason why men respond that way in that direction? Because like as a guy, you can look at something and say, well, I clearly wouldn't have done this. But as a guy, that's different. I don't. If I drink too much, I'm not usually worried about being taken advantage of by anybody or a group of women compared to how a woman would have to feel in that same surrounding. So, I don't know. I think that's a deeper discussion. Now, before I get you off this air, I got to ask you about two other things. Kamala Harris, what do you think about her as a presidential candidate?
I think she's cool. I don't think that she's gonna go far as like a presidential race. I mean, I'm pretty sure, and I'm expecting her to have a lot of Democratic support. But my whole thing with Democratic candidates is you never really hear a lot of them come out and speak about restructuring these systems that they commonly support. You just really hear about them supporting and throwing money at things, and by me, I work at a homeless shelter, and, I've done different things in the community. And actually, when you sit down and see how a lot of these social programs are run and how they're funded and the things that you need in order to utilize them, it is literally created to make people dependent on the system. It's not created to make people independent.
I think that's, as a Republican, now this is where I always say that. I say that I don't think these programs are meant for people to get to a better. The idea of it was for them to use it temporarily and move on to something else. But a lot of people fall into the trap, and it becomes a lifestyle. Now you have generational families that have lived off of the system. And I think that to me as a Republican, I always say, like, I know it sounds cold to say at some point you got to cut it off or you got to figure out something else. But the reality is that there are people that are generationally now have been on the system, and I think that that was one of the issues I have as a Republican. And I got to ask you about this last question here too. Yeah, the Covington High School situation. Do you think that it was blown out of proportion? Because like I said, I can call it. These guys were some young punks. They were just hanging out, trying to taunt these guys. But this happens in protests. You've been in protests. People taunt each other in the protests. Do you think more was made of it because these were some young white males with "Make America Great Again" hats on?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think that the media? Okay, because to me it's like, well, I watched it on Friday. I was like, well, nothing happened. There was no violence. I mean, they didn't even push over nothing. Nothing happened. Like, what is the problem here? And they're like, oh, he was smirking at him. That look he gave him. I'm like, I mean, that's better to me than someone spitting on me, hitting me. Like I can live with that.
And I say that because, and that's not, I'm not a Republican. It's things that I don't agree with. However, if you've been anybody that's been a part of the political process and been in protests and rallies, they are vicious. Like, protests can get very, very ugly on both sides. It's people in their feelings, emotionally provoking. Yeah, so most people are thinking in their emotions rather than logically. It just becomes a you versus me, you pointing the finger. Every protest or rally I've been to, it's literally been almost fist fights outside, like from both sides.
Well,
so I can't.
And we've both been involved in politics like that. And so when I saw that, I didn't even turn it up because I'm like, well, it was no fighting, nothing got turned over, no tents got flipped. This is people, peaceful protests.
Oh yeah.
But when I looked around more, I said, okay, you know what it is? I see it. There's a bunch of young white guys with these "Make America Great" hats on again. That's, that anytime someone reports that on Twitter, anything like that, that's going to get negative attention. It's going to bring unwanted attention from the media. The media eats it up because it's like, oh, we got some young white guys with "Make America Great" hats on, going after some Indians. That's what they try to frame it as, is that the Trump guys were taunting the Indians. They never mentioned the fact that the black Israelites, the black Hebrews, whatever those guys are, they were out there too. And so to me,
they're just bad.
This is what America is, though. Like I said, let them all argue. This is what makes America. No one was hurt in the making of this video, and that should have been the highlight. Is that you had all these different groups of people. No one was hurt. There was no violence. People are allowed to talk ugly to each other. If that's what you want to do, as long as you're not violating anyone's personal space or assaulting anyone.
Mm-hmm.
No one was spitting on anybody. No one was throwing stuff at anybody. I think that the media sometimes plays itself by going after anything that has to do with Trump in a negative way, that somehow or another Trump ends up looking like a victim sometimes by the media or these kids. Now, these kids, Catholic school kids, these weren't any poor kids. These kids are about to take advantage of this. They're going to go to the media. They're going to, Trump is going to invite them to the White House. But the media gave this to Trump because of their overzealousness of trying to go after him. They made a story out of nothing, a nothing burger that they threw some extra cheese on, and now these young kids are about to go visit the White House. They might be at the State of the Union address on Tuesday. That's my prediction. He's going to have those guys stand up. That is my prediction.
I mean, just the reality of the situation is, we all know this. The media is liberally run, So unfortunately, you got to think about it. It's still chasing after ratings. So if you were to take a protest of progressives doing that same thing, it wouldn't really get as much ratings because progressives are that's what majority of the country leans toward. So you're not going to get those ratings like if it was the other side.
Yeah, the media's only looking to sell a negative story. How come they couldn't have said peaceful protest? Yeah, how come they couldn't have said peaceful protest in Kentucky today? Got a little hot, but nothing happened. Like, how come they had to make it a race war? And I think that is why Trump continues to have he's going to have a good, strong chance in 2020 because people are beginning to, in my opinion, they don't even trust the media to the point where they can recognize now that these guys are going after Trump in such a way that they're not even being fair. So we're going to see what happens. Now, as we get off this, I got to say thank you, one, for giving me a call. I got to say I've noticed how you have escalated in politics. You've been all over like the country, and you're still one of the coolest ladies in Detroit. Pouring drinks somewhere might catch you anywhere. So I admire your hustle.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in. And one of these days, we're going to start doing some bigger podcasts where I can bring in guests. I would love to have you come into the studio and we can really chop it up.
Hey, no, absolutely. I'm all down for it. And thank you so much, man. Look, I'm just out here trying to win in life,
You're winning. I see you. You're definitely winning. Thank you so much for calling in.
I'm the politic and drink slanger. That's me. Yep.
I like it. You have a future. You're always welcome around me. I like it. So thank you. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye. All right. Charmaine, you should have called in. We got about another 6 minutes left on this show here. The call-in number is 845-241-9835. I am going to figure out a way for my friends that are on Facebook. It's not a lot of people right now checking in on Facebook, but I'm going to figure out a way that I can give you the call-in number and the links so you guys can actually listen to the callers. That's the one thing I haven't figured out. My technology and my skills are not totally where they need to be yet, but I'm going to figure this out because I think it's a way that my folks that are watching on Facebook can listen to the callers that call in the same way I did when I was in the radio station. So we're going to figure this out. Give me a call, 845-241-9835. I also want to tell folks you can always listen to this show. It's uploaded to conservativebro.com. You can go on Apple iTunes or podcast and download the Wayne Bradley Show. Look us up on the podcast, and you can get all of our shows. And whenever we drop a new show, it downloads right on there, so you never miss a show. If you're a SoundCloud person, go to SoundCloud.com, and you can find the Wayne Bradley Show on there as well. Indians, this is a lie still. All right. Hey, Emmanuel, my brother. Call in if you want to chop it up. I encourage that as well, my friend. I appreciate you chiming in. Sorry if Indians is offensive. Native Americans, I don't want to offend anybody with that. So I'm back, man. I guess I haven't been on the air in a while. I don't think the last time I really did a show was probably even before election time. So I've been trying to just get my groove back in here politically and trying to figure out the proper time. I don't know if I'm going to do this in the mornings or in the evenings. Tonight I just felt the inspiration, to do a quick hour. And that's the good thing about having your own content, your own stuff. is that you can go on whenever you feel like it and have a good interaction with your people. I had a couple good calls in this evening. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Rachel, for calling in this evening. But I appreciate anybody when you call in, 845-241-9835. What's up, Uncle Rob? DP, one of the best coaches in the game. Southfield Falcons, represent, my guy. You know, congratulations on the champion on playing down there in Florida. My, Cartwright's son is down there balling with you, so congratulations on that, man. Had to maybe one of these days talk to you about how serious it is with this little league football and how committed parents are to making that happen. So appreciate that, man. Give us a call, 845-241-9835. We've only got 3 minutes left. I only did an hour show tonight because, again, I was kind of trying to get everything worked out. I'm going to figure out a way that my Facebook Live can actually listen to the show. And again, I might decide to do morning shows. I'd love to get some input from people on that. If you'd like to hear it, if you would be able to listen in earlier in the morning. I'm not really a morning person, so that would be, tougher for me, but I would do it if that's when folks are going to get to be able to digest and listen to this and listen to it maybe later in the day. So that is an option, but I am a late person. Thinking about maybe doing a Friday night WB After Dark podcast. What do you think about that? That sounds like fun. So I'm working on some things right now, trying to get that going. I'm going to give you a quick minute from our sponsor, New Horizon Homes. If you're looking for a home in the Detroit area, make sure you go to the website, mynewhorizonhomes.com. You can also get free valuations and things like that on your own home. So give us a call, give them a call, 248-796-7228. I'm going to let you hear a quick message from them, and then we're going to be signing out of here soon.
Are you looking to place your house on the market? Or maybe you're ready to be a first-time home buyer? Well, look no further. New Horizon Homes has just the services you're looking for.
I saw my dream home on their website at mynewhorizonhomes.com. I called and left a message, and they called me back immediately.
New Horizon Homes is fabulous. They helped me sell my home and find a new one.
We listen to our customers. We return calls quickly. We move fast to buy or sell your home. Your satisfaction is our priority. At New Horizon Homes. For more information, log on to mynewhorizonhomes.com right now. New Horizon Homes. Remember the name, New Horizon Homes, because your new home is just over the horizon.
Make sure you give New Horizon Homes a call at 248-796-7228. Welcome back to the Wayne Bradley Show, here live on Blog Talk Radio. You can always go to the website, conservativebro.com, to listen to all the shows. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at conservativebro. We have our the Wayne Bradley Show Facebook page if you aren't following that, so you can keep up with what we're doing here. Like I said, we got about 30 seconds left on the show, so I want to thank everyone that took the time out to listen, whether on Facebook or if you went to the live link. And we will be back shortly. We'll be back soon. I don't want to give you a day yet because I want to really hammer out a schedule, but we're going to start doing this more because I do enjoy talking the issues with folks, and we're going to just figure out the best time. I don't know if it's going to be in the morning. So thanks again for listening to the Wayne Bradley Show live on Blog Talk Radio. Make sure you listen to the show on conservativebro.com and get the iTunes iPod app. Thank you. Have a good evening.